Welcome back to VHS Talkers, everybody. We got a bit of a special video for you today. We're finally back with This Is Actually Good, I Swear, Please Don't Leave, and a new movie review. 2 in 1. This time we're coming to you with The Little Things, brand new movie written and directed by John Lee Hancock, starring the ever so fantastic Denzel Washington, the always making the right career choices Rami Malek, and holy crap, I can actually watch his performance, Jared Leto. Let's jump right into it. Plot breakdown. Rami Malek is trying to solve this grisly, disgusting murder, which may or may not bear some form of resemblance to Denzel Washington's cases from back in the day. How does Jared Leto get involved? Well, it just so happens that the person who was murdered had a work order put in on the refrigerator, and Jared Leto was assigned to it. So it all culminates into one grand finale, which so far has really pissed off the internet. The good. This movie has a fantastic cast. The acting in this movie is phenomenal. It really sets itself on the shoulders of 3 people: Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto. Denzel Washington, at this point in his career, he could play these roles in his sleep. This is such an easy role for him to play, but it's never just enough for him. He can never sleepwalk through a role. He always brings these small little mannerisms to the character, the small little tics, these little quirks, the little facial expressions, these little repeating habits that give life to this character. A powerhouse scene, which is definitely a highlight of the trailer, is when Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, they are interrogating Jared Leto's character. Denzel Washington owns that scene until Jared Leto owns that scene. There's a power dynamic and a power shift that goes back and forth. Every time Denzel Washington thinks he has the upper hand, Jared Leto comes in and he takes it. Every time Jared Leto thinks that he has the upper hand, Denzel Washington comes in and he takes it. It's fantastic. And it culminates in like a physical standoff where, you have Denzel Washington, he's a big dude. And Jared Leto, he's not that big. They give him a bit of a prosthetic beard go, which is hilarious. They're literally face to face. But just the control on Jared Leto's face, that he knows that nothing's going to happen to him. He's staring death into the face. I mean, like I said, Jared Leto, he kills it as well. He is suspect number 1. He's a weird guy. He works as a maintenance man, but you know how Jared Leto does. He always has to give 200%. Most of the time, it's too much. But this time around, he actually sells it very well. He's a weird guy. He's a bit of a loner. But then you see that he kind of almost has like a heart of gold of sorts when he stops off at a fast food restaurant but then decides to give the food to some street workers without having them get into the car with him. I mean, it's weird. And you have Rami Malek's character. There's been a lot of complaints going around that, he does better at playing like the weird, quirky guys and weird, quirky characters. And he does. And he does that here on the second half of his transformation. When we first meet him, he starts off as this cocky, hotshot detective. But then, the more that he starts to intertwine himself with Denzel Washington's character, you start to see the layers come by. You can see the obsession take over Rami Malek's face. You can see that he starts making really questionable choices towards the end of the movie because he just wants to get the case solved. Another good thing about this movie is the pacing. This is a slow burn movie. It's just over 2 hours. This movie takes its time with each of the main 3 characters. You can see what makes them tick. That comes from some fantastic character development, not just from the writing by John Lee Hancock, but obviously Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, Jared Leto, taking these characters and making them feel like real, lived-in people. Then that leads to the last good thing that I have to say about this movie, the ending. This is a huge point of contention on the internet. So, the ending of the movie happens where Rami Malek, making questionable choices at this point in the movie, decides to go ahead and take up the offer of Jared Leto's character to come with him. So Jared Leto's character can show him where the bodies are buried. And it's really tense because we have the long car rides, we have these long, drawn-out scenes. Denzel Washington, he's trying to get to him as quickly as we can, but he makes a wrong turn and he makes a mistake, so he has to double back. And Jared Leto, he then starts to use that power dynamic on Rami Malek's character. Throwing the shovel at him, telling him you dig, playing a game of hot and cold. He thinks it's a joke and he's toying with him. Rami Malek at this point, he's absolutely had it up to here because he just needs to figure out where this jogger is, the one who went missing. because he knows Jared Leto killed him. And finally, it culminates as Rami Malek, he's digging in the dirt, he's trying to figure out where it is. Jared Leto, overstepping the boundaries of the power play. Rami Malek swings the shovel, hits him in the head, kills him. At the end of the movie, Rami Malek's character is sitting there by the pool while his daughters are in there swimming. His wife walks out, hands him a package. It's from Denzel Washington's character. Empties the package. It's a red beret. Same red beret that the runner had when she went missing. However, then we cut to Denzel Washington's character. He bagged up everything in Jared Leto's apartment and now he's burning it all. That way it can give the idea that Jared Leto's character has packed up and he's moved, he's gone off the grid. And then we see Denzel Washington's character take a pack of berets with the red one missing and throw it into the fire. The movie doesn't make it very clear who the murderer is. It's kind of left up to interpretation. I get it. We always want that definitive ending. We want to know that the bad guy got exactly what he deserved. That there's no more bad guys out there in the world, but the truth is that that's just not always how it happens. Sometimes the bad guy gets away, and that's part of what this movie is saying. It's a tough choice, but it's a fantastic one. Alright guys, so that's my breakdown of The Little Things, which is now streaming on HBO Max until the end of February, and it's also currently in theaters, whichever movie theater happens to be open. Highly recommend checking it out, if only for the fact that you get to watch Denzel Washington give one heck of a freaking awesome performance for what would otherwise be a one-note character. It's fantastic. So is Rami Malek, and for the first time in my life, I get to say, so is Jared Leto. They all killed it. No pun intended. As per usual, guys, make sure you do a like, do a subscribe if you like what you see. Stick around for more. Make sure you check us out over there on Instagram. Make sure you check us out over there on Twitter, and we will see you guys on the next. This is actually good, I swear. Please don't leave. And who knows, maybe the next one will be a new review as well. Adios.